Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be trying our Xiao in Spiral Abyss, except for, if you're anything like me, you didn't pull XIANYUN because you were too broke, and you don't have a C6 FARUZAN, and in fact you don't have any FARUZANs whatsoever. So today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be using I'd say probably a pretty free-to-play friendly team. You know, it's your sort of standard Xiao team you'd play if you don't have XIANYUN or FARUZAN. So yeah, that's the team we're going to be trying out today. Now, obviously, we did pull Xiao in our last video. We did that in cosplay, so if you're interested in watching that video, you should go ahead and check it out. So what we are going to be doing is we will be using Xiao on the first half because we have more sort of AoE enemies on this half. So like I said, we're going to be doing Xiao. And then we have Sucrose here as a battery. She's also on Thrilling Tales. I could use her on Favonius, although I haven't tested out how energy is in this team, so we will be using her on Thrilling Tales just for the damage buff. Then we also have Bennett, obviously attack boost, healing, nice. And then Zhongli, just big shield, and also gives us some animal res shred when we have his shield up. And when it comes to the second half, we're going to be using one of my favorite teams in the game, and that is an Alhaitham Hyperbloom team. I would have used Farina on this team, but I want to save trying Xiao Farina out for another video, and also I feel like this team's a bit more free-to-play friendly, if I'm being honest. But yeah. You could probably, if you have FARUZAN but no XIANYUN, you could swap out one of these for him. You know, either XIANYUN or FARUZAN instead of zhongli works. But yeah, back to the Alhaitham team, and then we're going to have Yaya for a battery, and then Cookie for our Hyperbloom trigger. So without further ado, those are the teams we will be using, and let's get right into it. Okay, and here we are in the first chamber. Now, unfortunately, the blessings aren't the best for us. I think I'm just going to go for EM, considering that, you know, it helps out our Alhaitham now. What we're doing here is, if you're running between these two guys, it's kind of nice. They just kind of group up together if you just run in between them. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, you know, make sure we get obviously Bennett's buff, and then we're also getting Sucrose's Thrilling Tales buff, and then obviously skilling twice on Xiao before going into his ult to sort of funnel energy into him. Now what I am also trying to do is just staying close to these guys so that we hit them with collision damage as well. If you don't know, basically if you're plunging and you collide into enemies, you do a little bit of extra damage. Now, okay, the unfortunate thing is we don't really have energy on our Xiao, so what we're going to hope is if I E and then catch the particles on Xiao now. Okay, yeah, we get our ult. Nice. Okay, so we can sort of get away with 118 ER. It's quite close to 120. We're doing decent damage here. Unfortunately, the Bennett ult uptime isn't amazing since we have to switch to Sucrose first, and then we also did skill into burst into skill, so we wasted some time there, which is unfortunate. It's going to take away from a bit of our time, but you know, it is what it is. The problem is these guys still have like a bit of HP left, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to have to ult on our Xiao, unfortunately. This will take away a bit of time, and the worst part is it's also going to take away a bit of energy from us. Yeah, okay. Now I can E, and Q, catch my particles, and then we would have done this chamber in about 90 seconds, slightly less, like 95, which is fine if you have a decent second half team. Obviously, the goal is 90 seconds, just so that, you know, you have 90 seconds for both halves, and you can face 6-star that way. So yeah, our team there did decent. A bit more energy regen would have been nice. That is the nice thing if you have XIANYUN and FARUZAN, since you have 3 animal characters instead of just 2. They're also producing their own energy, and it just, you know, it helps out with energy massively. Now we do get, okay, I was going to say we get lucky here in that he does his little rolly thing, but then we also went flying in the air, so yeah, it is what it is. Now, I actually really like Alhaitham against this boss. I just hate this boss in general, so I mean, this Alhaitham Farina Hyperbloom is just a very strong team. If you haven't tried it out, I definitely do recommend. Now, he shouldn't go on the ground. I think, yeah, he's going to do this account. If I'm being honest, I don't really know how to counter this. Okay, I was going to say I'm just praying for the best, and the best happened. So we're going to be able to clear this quite quickly. So, you know, the Xiao team did decently. Since my Xiao is decently built and has his weapon, I think if you're going for a full free-to-play build, you'd suffer a bit more. But if you just have like a FARUZAN and can replace the zhongli, then you can do extra damage and you would be fine anyway. Anyway, that's it for the first chamber, and onto the second chamber. Okay, and onto the second chamber. Now we get the option for max HP again. I'm just going to go for a normal and charge attack, which honestly doesn't even help our Alhaitham out that much. Now, what I am trying to do here is I'm trying to get a few sucrose particles into our Xiao, And then, ooh, okay, I thought we'd have our ult up. We don't. Okay, we are getting no energy from this whatsoever. I can't scuff this. Basically, what I would have wanted is obviously get my zhongli shield and then do 2 sucrose E's, catch them on Xiao, and then hopefully I can get more energy from my Bennett. But it didn't exactly go to plan, so we have to invest some dashes here to kill this last guy off, and then yeah, although luckily we will have both our E's here on Sucrose, so we can catch them on Xiao, and we will have his ult up, so, you know, it wasn't terrible, it wasn't perfect, it is what it is. Like I said, basically 120 ER is basically the minimum you'll need in this team, in my experience. Now, luckily, Xiao is very good on these floors. If they group up, they die incredibly quickly, so look, we should clear this quite fast. Our energy situation's okay for the next chamber. Obviously, it's not ideal, but, you know, we've had worse. So, we clear... Oh, we also get to do another E here, which is nice. And we clear that in, you know, under 90 seconds, which is our goal. Now, okay, so we cleared that in, I think, 75 seconds, which is actually a pretty good clear. All things considered, it's not the optimal team. We had to do so a little bit of energy funneling, which altogether wasn't a massive time loss, but you know, if you're like cutting corners or if your second half team isn't as good, it can cost you. Now, the thing is, I don't know if you guys saw earlier in the video, I actually haven't freestyled this chamber yet when I was doing a few smaller scale runs. I'll be able to face 6-star quite easily when I use like my full proper teams, but yeah, we struggled a bit here. Also, if you want to know why I didn't get that last star, it's because my child ult didn't crit. So, yeah. Anyway, this guy is very annoying. Although Farina makes knocking him down quite easy. And if we... okay, we're not going to go... I'll hate him out here. Honestly, we're just going to have to try to do as much DPS as we can. I'm not really going to bother if we don't get 3 stars on this, since we cleared the Xiao half in the time we needed, and I don't feel like being hit forever fighting the Weenot. Hopefully you guys understand, because this boss is incredibly annoying. Although, one of my favorite, if you guys are struggling on this, I would recommend, you know, actually the Xiao Farina variant, like Xiao Farina XIANYUN FARUZAN, would actually be very good against this boss, maybe. Actually, no, since he moves around so much. It'd be decent to get him down and then do decent damage when he's down. Oh, he also has animal resistance. Yeah, never mind, not a good idea. I completely lied to you guys. Now, the annoying thing is, if we cleared the last chamber a bit easier, we would have gotten onto his second down cycle, and maybe we could have faced 6-star, but alas, not enough damage, not enough energy. And yeah, it's a bit annoying, but oh well, what can you do? Now, I'm just going to save ult here, you know, try knock him down. Okay, there we go. Nice. Yeah, Farina does a good job of knocking him down. Okay, so Chamber 2, first half, Xiao did well, that's the main focus of the video. Weenot's annoying, so I'm not going to bother the fact that we didn't clear him by 20 seconds, and it is on to Chamber 3 now. Okay, now on to the final chamber, and we finally get a good blessing. We get the crit abyss blessing. This is honestly one of my favorite ones to get. Now, once again, we are struggling slightly for energy, but, you know, it's not too bad, all things considered. We have our Bennett ult here, and actually, I completely forgot that when fighting this boss, you kind of want to go for the, sorry, not boss, but you basically want to go for the not purple one, because the purple one will just run towards you. Now, this is one more annoying thing about this variant of the team. Obviously, you're using Bennett, so you kind of have to stay in Bennett's circle a bit. And also, without Faruzan C6, you don't really get much grouping, so we're kind of just knocking these guys around. You know, we're trying our best, but the energy situation isn't amazing. And these are the kind of flaws where it's most damaging not having that, you know, ideal team, so you don't really have the energy or some of the damage or some of the grouping which you would have. But we still managed to clear that in, you know, a decent amount of time. It wasn't too bad. Again, we're going to need some more funneling on our Xiao. So you have two solutions. Either you can run more ER, or obviously you have the better team. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not ideal either, if we're being honest. I mean, it's to the point where I'm zhongli ulting, so take from that what you will. Now, we probably won't clear this in 90 seconds, but we'll try our best. Actually, we'll get close. So, all things considered how bad of a run this is, I'm not all that bothered because we're doing decent damage here. Obviously, for our little unideal team, we've basically cleared it. We've cleared it in 95 seconds, which honestly, considering how scuffed that run was, I was expecting worse. Now, I'm just gonna talk over this run, if I'm being honest, just because, the main focus of this video is Xiao. I've done videos using this team before. Farina's gonna be nicer because she can knock him down randomly. But yeah, as I was gonna say, now, when it comes to our Xiao team, there are 3 things that basically the other team, which I've referred to it a few times, but obviously it's Farina, XIANYUN, and FARUZAN, C6 specifically. Although, C2 onwards is nice. You can even use the C0 FARUZAN. But anyway, now there are 3 things that this team does worse. Energy, because you have less animal characters, so you have less animal particles being created, so you'll need a bit more energy. I think in those teams, anywhere between none to like 20% is fine. Well, even I'd say 20% is even comfortable in that team, so you really don't need to run much ER, basically at all. And also the damage is better, especially in single target, because XIANYUN gives you a crazy damage buff in single target, but also in AoE it is just better because of how FARUZAN C6 works. And also the issue of grouping, because Xiao's plunge attacks kind of like knocking enemies backwards. So yeah, those are sort of the things that the team does worse. But if your Xiao is built well enough, if you're if you have like enough ER on your Bennett, if you play the team optimally, which I don't, and I still have decent results, and if you just run like a little bit more ER, then you will be fine. But yeah, that's it for basically my thoughts on this Xiao team. Obviously it's not ideal, but if you don't have Xiao's best supports, you shouldn't think, oh, I can't get Xiao. At the end of the day, pull who you want. I'm a Xiao fan, so I was going to pull him no matter what, even if I can't face 6-star Abyss with him because my team's shite. But, we managed to do it, it all went well, and we cleared Abyss. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's move on to the character builds. Okay, so when it comes to our Xiao build, we have him on 70 crit rate and 208 crit damage. We also have him on 118 ER, which, as we've realized, without FARUZAN and XIANYUN, you might want around like 130 to 140 ER. I mean, this is possible if you're willing to battery and like have a bit of off DPS time. So I mean, if you're gonna be sacrificing too much crit and attack, then this is fine. But like if you can, it's nice to have that sort of extra comfort at times. Now, also one of the issues we have here is crit rate. We are on the 4-piece Marchese set, so this is actually a 106 crit rate, which obviously is 2 wasted substats of crit rate, but I need it for the ER, because if I go for my more optimized crit ratio, our ER drops down to literally nothing. So that's why we have the build we have currently. Now, I did pull Xiao's weapon from the standard banner, so that is what we have been using the entirety of this video. Obviously, it is a big damage increase, and if you're running whatever 4-star variants, whether it's Lithic Spear or Blackcliff or the event weapon, whatever it is, you can expect slightly slower times in this video, probably if your artifacts aren't the same and if you don't have his weapon. Now, like I said, we have 4-piece Marchese just because I like running 100 crit rate because it feels more consistent, and I've played Child, and if it isn't 100 crit rate, it's 50 crit rate. That's what I've learned. So I just like having my characters on 100 crit rate. You don't need to, but then I also can focus more on crit damage substats. So just looking at our stats right here, this is how they look. And yeah, that's it, basically. All the ER comes from this one piece. Anyway, obviously C0, and he is triple crowned, which if you watch the summoning video in the cosplay, this was 10, 9, 10, because I needed a crown, so I've completed Lantern Rite in the meantime. Now, just real quickly going through these stats, our sucrose is on Thrilling Tales, R5 on Vermilion, C5, and I mean, her damage really doesn't matter here, you can just optimize that a bit. Our Bennett is on 246 ER because he is the only pyro character on this team. We have him on Sapwood for the ER and high base attack. We also have him on the Bless for the attack buff. And then we have his C1, which is of course the important part. And then we also have his burst, rank 10. Now our zhongli, just a shield buff build with Black Tassel. Also Tenacity will also be increasing our attack buff. So we get attack sources from a lot. Like Xiao's attack in this team is a lot because he gets it from his weapon, Tenacity, Noblesse, Bennett's burst, Thrilling Tales. It's crazy. Now, when it comes to the second half of the team, I'll just go through that real quickly. I went past our Alhaitham. There we go, triple crowned, C0, on Gilded Wanderers, so just a two-piece set. Our Alhaitham isn't really the best. The highlight also on this weapon, not even level 90, and his crit ratio is 65 to 111 to 130 ER. So yeah, he's not the best Alhaitham you'll ever see. When it comes to Farina, on the other hand, she's pretty decent, 64 crit, 108 crit damage. on 220 ER since she's the solo Hydro. We have her on Fav. We have her on Golden Troop, built as you'd expect with HP, and crit. C0, 2910 talents. And then our Xiao just sort of built for healing. Level 40 weapon rather, sorry, my bad. You know, stats, alright. Deepwood to shred Dendro Res. Full HP and healing bonus for her healing. C6. It just makes her heal more when you use Farina, so it's just sort of nice. And then our Cookie, 900 EM, on Iron Sting, on 4-piece Gilded, full EM, C4, and 141 talents. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe. If you want to see us trying out Xiao with Farina, be sure to stick around for that video. I'll also have more Spiral Abyss videos. We should have one coming out using Child as well. And yeah, that's it for us today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, also Akron pulls coming for Honkai Star Rail, and I'll let you know pulls when she comes out as well. Don't forget those. Alright, see ya.